please subscribe. I do not have enough subscribers. Subscribe, share this video, subscribe. Hello there. Good morning. Today I wanted to talk a bit about internet freedom. So a lot of people have been aware of the censorship on YouTube, on Twitter, on various platforms, right? Now, here is the question. What is the end game? Where is this gonna go? Right? Well, we have Elon Musk, at least, who may make Twitter a safe space for free speech. Okay, we have new and emerging platforms like Rumble and Rokfin. For videos, we have plenty of social media alternatives, but, part of the thing about Twitter is that that a lot of the big names are using it. Good luck finding that kind of celebrity on any of these other platforms. Truth Social is super authoritarian. It will ban you for saying things they don't like, but at least it lets you say the things that you're not allowed to say on Twitter. But anyway, so yeah, we can bounce between platforms. And when you adopt a platform, here's the thing about platforms. Well, the maintainers of the platform feel that they have typically a social responsibility. What does this mean? Well, if I'm on Twitter and I start blasting my mouth all the time about revolution, right? And I'm not breaking the law, but I still am calling for revolution, and I'm really intense, and I'm really, what is Twitter going to do? Well, they're going to demote my voice. They're going to just make me less visible and less prevalent on the platform. Why? Because they feel that they have a social responsibility. They want to appease the state to some extent. They aren't going to be reckless with how they allow freedom of speech to occur. And also, if they want to operate in Europe, they have to abide by the EU censorship regulations, right? So Truth Social refuses, Gab. Gab Social is another right-wing platform. They refuse to abide by EU censorship, so they are going to be banned in the EU. That you can't use them in Europe, at least in the EU zone. So that's just a fact of how it is. Now, the thing about platforms is the people who have platforms tend to have an agenda, right? And a lot of times platforms are not profitable. So the reason someone's running a platform, Twitter's not profitable. The reason they're running Twitter is because of a liberal political agenda. This is clear. This is very obvious. Twitter is not profitable. It has a political agenda. And other platforms, like Rumble, for example, you have to look into what the people hosting on Rumble, what the people allowing you to host your videos on Rumble, what is it that they believe in? What is it that they want to achieve? Are they going to censor you? Are they going to? And anybody who's running one of these alternative platforms, again, they will start to feel the weight of social responsibility on their shoulders to some extent, and probably determine what is and isn't acceptable for their platform. Now, one thing you'll notice conspicuously, I did not mention Odyssey here. Why is this? Well, Odyssey itself is a platform layer on top of the LBRY blockchain. And what the LBRY blockchain is a ledger of basically resource handles that point to LBRY hosts, which are in practice right now highly centralized. I imagine the owners of LBRY host everything on maybe Amazon Web Services or something like this, and most of the content is hosted through this central platform host. But there's nothing about LBRY that demands you host it there. You can actually keep your own local hosted LBRY collection. And this makes it much more resistant to their desire to take anything down. And further, if you upload something illegal, like pirated, for example, the people running this thing can take it off Odyssey easy because it's a platform layer, right? So the index of Odyssey itself can easily be manipulated to cut out things that they don't like. The index of LBRY is subject to a similar manipulation, but the blockchain basis of LBRY is immutable. So using a hacked LBRY client, or patched rather, because it's open source, so using a patched LBRY client, you could gain access to all of the things that they wanted to take down. And then it would be sort of like torrent, right? It would be sort of like a very, very free thing. And the reason why it becomes so free is because it is a protocol and not a platform. Now, in the case of LBRY, the protocol, right, which is just a way of communicating. HTTPS is a protocol. So if I host my own website, I'm hosting it over a protocol. I don't need to use a platform. I don't need to host my website through Facebook or something like that, right? Well, the LBRY blockchain, right? Now I need to look more deeply into it, but it functions as a sort of decentralized platform or as a sort of protocol, right? Whereas you compare this to like Rumble, all the videos are hosted in one place. They're all centralized, you know? So in theory, if enough people choose to self-host their own LBRY content, and in the case of censorship, these things can be avoided. And you'll see that in practice, there's a lot of pirated content. There's a lot of movies on LBRY right now. And I'd kind of like to see how they deal with them if they do. Because if it becomes too big of a problem, then ISPs might start sniffing for LBRY packets, LBRY protocol data, and treating it like BitTorrent, where they will give you piracy notices or this kind of thing. So you at least, you know, the ISPs could control to some extent the piracy that occurs there, but I doubt that they would be able to control whether or not you watch content that is deemed either misinformation or, you know, some other thing. Now, this brings me to my point. Now, the buck does not stop at ISPs. If American state chooses that ISPs can or can't censor, they can or can't censor. And that is called net neutrality. If ISPs are allowed to censor, then we do not have net neutrality. Internet service providers, that is. So, you know, Spectrum or AT&T or Google Fiber, these providers, they can control what they choose to serve. Though, I will say, see, in 2018, Ajit Pai rolled back net neutrality, meaning that ISPs are free to act as private actors, choose not to connect you to servers with content that they don't like, choose not to carry the data from those servers over their internet systems. Meaning that even if you find the right platform, even if you find the right protocol, ISPs can say, sorry, cutting it off, no access. And we can always play whack-a-mole and try to get around this, as people do. But that really, if that were to happen, that would prevent any kind of internet freedom from emerging if ISPs decided that they have a social responsibility to censor misinformation, basically. Now, Joe Biden put through an executive order in order to restore net neutrality. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the status is of it. I think that if an ISP chose to have a non-neutral net thing, someone would have to sue them. Someone would have to stop them from doing it. And because of Biden's executive order, I'm pretty sure that we would be able to actually do something about it. And it is also more profitable for them not to censor, because if they censor, people are likely to choose another ISP if possible. But point that I'm making is that you should rely more on protocols rather than platforms, meaning you should rely on like LBRY protocol or even HTTP or even fucking BitTorrent. Rely on a protocol rather than a platform. That way that the maintainers of the platform, the people running the platform, cannot determine what is and is not fit to upload. And the other thing is, we need to fight for net neutrality. Do not allow ISPs to censor content, because it is possible that they can, and the people that are hosting platforms like Rumble and Truth Social, keep an eye out for their agenda. ISPs and net neutrality, keep an eye out for their agenda. Disinformation laws, keep an eye out for these laws, because if they're set, they will obviously be able to censor information. That's what you have to keep an eye out for. And be mobile. Be ready to go to another platform. Treat every single thing that you've uploaded to a platform that you do not control. If the data is not hosted on your server, then treat it as ephemeral. Treat it as if it could disappear at any moment. Keep a backup of it. By the time you get to the point where you're playing a game of whack-a-mole, or where you're shoved into the dark web, or where you have to use an obscure protocol that people don't know how to use, yeah, people want their information. Yeah, they'll do a thing or two to seek it out, but it also is going to make you less and less popular the more that people are forced to turn to obscure ways of accessing the data. And if we want to reach people and have a popular and widespread message, well, I mean, we want to try to do it on YouTube. You want to try to reach people where they are at, rather than forcing them to go somewhere else. But it seems that more and more people are being forced to go other places, and in the end, they may even be forced to leave the internet. Please subscribe. I do not have enough subscribers. Subscribe. Share this video, subscribe. Please subscribe. I do not have enough subscribers. Subscribe. Share this video, subscribe. Please subscribe. I do not have enough subscribers. Subscribe. Share this video, subscribe.